Hello, Disney fans. I know Christmas Day is over, but there are 12 days of Christmas or Yule, depending on if you celebrate one, the other, or both. And so, since the season is not over yet, I wanted to do one last special for the season. And when I started this channel, I decided that anything on Disney Plus was fair game for a review, and anything that had the Disney name attached to it in some way or other, whether it's on Disney Plus yet or not. Well, of course, Disney owns Fox now, which means they own The Simpsons. And I couldn't resist doing a review of The Simpsons Holiday Special. Well, there are more than one of these specials, but the first one is considered by far the best. So much so that it was a few years before they even did another Christmas one, because this was considered the standard, the classic. This was back when The Simpsons was The Simpsons. It's one of those series that there are far too many of that start out great and then starts to go downhill in the last few seasons. I'm not the only one who feels that way about The Simpsons. I know there are going to be people who disagree with me, but there are others who look at the recent episodes and say, yeah, they're not what The Simpsons used to be. This special was the first episode that aired, although not the first made, and it introduced everybody to who The Simpsons are. And I think the introduction to Bart is one of the best character establishing moments in the whole series, and it is hilarious.
Isn't Bart sweet, Homer? He sings like an angel.
If you've seen any episode of The Simpsons before this, before you watch this episode, you know Bart's not going to just sing nicely in the choir like he's supposed to. This establishes Bart as a prankster. He's a rule breaker. He's a kid with a warped sense of humor. But it's also shown in this episode that basically he is a good-hearted kid, even if he does like to get into trouble. We see a little bit of Lisa's character here too, more so later on. But we see her love of horses established early on too.
A pony? No, Lisa. You've asked for that for the last 3 years, and I keep telling you Santa can't fit a pony into his sleigh. Can't you take a...
As someone else who loves horses, I have to say, keep on holding out for that pony, Lisa. Don't give up on that. There's another moment I love that I still find hilarious. It's a throwaway line, but even so, I always laugh every time I hear it. When Marge is writing her Christmas letter to the family.
Maggie is walking by herself. Lisa got straight A's. And Bart, well, we love Bart.
I'm sure almost any parent can relate. If you have more than one child, there's one, like they say, there's one in every family. There's gonna be one who's more mischievous than the others, a bit more of a prankster than the others. Yeah, we all know that family member. That's one thing that I love about the early Simpsons. Instead of going for the wacky hijinks, they did humor that was relatable. You could say, yeah, I recognize that situation, I recognize that person, I know what it's like to be in this person's shoes. You could relate to it. And one of the relatable things about it that you can look at as an adult is, of course, trying to give kids a good Christmas, trying to give anyone you love a good holiday. Well, Homer's trying, and he falls a bit short of what his neighbor's doing when he tries to decorate his house for Christmas.
What do you think, kids?
Nice try, Dad.
Good.
Hey, Simpson!
What is it, Flanders?
Oh, do you think this looks okay?
We see this throughout the series that Homer tries to compete without Flanders. It's not. I've been joined by my buddy here, Hardy, for this part of the video. Come on, hi. Can you say hi? Hi, hi, puppy. Yeah, you're okay. Hello. I love you too. Yes, I do. It's kind of appropriate that Marty decided to join me now because we're going to be talking about dogs in a little bit. And if you've seen this episode, you know what I'm going to be talking about. Now, the scene that I just showed establishes, yeah, Homer's in competition with Flanders. He's not quite living up to the standard, and he knows that. He wants to be a good provider for his family and a good dad for his kids. Something that varies a bit episode to episode depending on the writer and depending on the season later on. But now, they're supposed to have a good Christmas. The Simpsons are. Marge has set aside a big jar of spare change that's going to be enough to buy quite a few nice gifts. Besides which, Homer's got his Christmas bonus coming. They think they're going to be able to buy plenty of presents, a really nice tree. They're going to have an awesome Christmas. Well, unfortunately, Marge takes the kids Christmas shopping with her, and Bart being Bart, he decides to try to get a tattoo. And I find it hilarious how the tattoo artist doesn't even question him.
One mother, please.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
21, sir.
Get in a chair.
Really? You believe that Bart is 21? Gotta love the stupidity. Well, Bart gets the tattoo halfway done before Marge catches him and blows what is left of what blows her jar of Christmas money to get the tattoo removed. Now, I never got why she didn't just wait till after the holidays to get it removed. Then, they could save up for that. They wouldn't have to cost, getting more for Christmas. Is giving up Christmas really worth getting the tattoo removed then and there? Of course, you gotta have the logic of the show, otherwise the plot doesn't advance the way the writers need it to. And in Marge's defense here, she does think that Homer's getting a huge Christmas bonus. That doesn't exactly turn out either.
Hello. I'm proud to announce that we've been able to increase safety here at the plant without increasing the cost to the consumer or affecting management pay raises. However, for you semi-skilled workers, there will be no Christmas bonuses.
Not getting a Christmas bonus that you were promised? I've been there. I know how much that sucks. Now, if this were a more modern Simpsons episode, it would be something Homer did that screwed up Christmas, more than likely. He'd have done something dumb to get fired, or he'd have blown his money on something stupid. It would have been somehow his fault. But now, this is something that he has no control over. He isn't to blame for this. He definitely does want a good Christmas for his family, and he is devastated hearing that Marge had to use all the money he had saved up. Well, to make his Christmas even worse, he has unwelcome holiday guests around, namely his sisters-in-law. If you have a bad relationship with your in-laws, not every family does, but if you know what it's like to have a bad relationship with your in-laws, you can relate to this as well. Like I said, one of the things that makes The Simpsons so funny is we can all see ourselves in it and we can relate. Well, they point out that he doesn't have a tree for Christmas yet. So he goes out to get one, finally ending up having to chop one down from a national park.
Hey, Dad!
Why is there a birdhouse in it?
That's an ornament.
While they have their tree, even if not in exactly a legal way, but there's still the problem of getting enough money to buy gifts for the family. Homer gets a tip that he could make extra money playing a mall Santa. Not a bad way to make money, except Bart gets the bright idea to pick on the mall Santa, not knowing that it's his dad. This goes about the way you'd expect.
Hey, Santa, what's shaking, man?
What's your name, partner? Little partner?
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
I'm Jolly old Saint Nick.
Oh, yeah? We'll just see about that.
Homer explains why he's doing this, and he doesn't stay angry with Bart for long. And Bart does actually comment that his dad must really love his family if he's going through all this. Or, as Bart puts it, you must really love us to let yourself sink this low. From Bart, that's a compliment. Well, Homer's plan would have earned him extra money, but by the time the company he's working for takes off everything they think they're owed, taxes, insurance, for a week-long job, not even really. By the time they take all of that off, Homer's left with $13. His friend Barney, however, is excited. $13, we can bet this. We can go down to the Springfield dog track and turn this into quite a nice amount of money. Well, Homer's against the idea at first, but $13 isn't all that much, and he does need the money. Besides which, Bart encourages him, saying, Christmas miracles happen all the time. Let's try for our own Christmas miracle. So Homer does take him to the dog track.
When is our only hope for a Merry Christmas?
Attention racing fans, we have a late scratch in the fourth race. Number 8, Sir Galahad, will be replaced by Santa's Little Helper. Once again, Sir Galahad has been replaced by Santa's Little Helper.
Hark! Did you hear that? What a name! Santa's Little Helper? It's a sign. It's an omen.
It's a coincidence, Dad.
This actually gives a fairly heartwarming moment between Bart and Homer. It might not seem that way at first, but on viewing this again, I was kind of touched by how this moment plays out.
Come on, boy. Sometimes your faith is all that keeps me going.
Oh, go for it, Dad.
Bart knows enough to know Santa's Little Helper's a 99 to 1 shot. There's basically zero chance he's going to win this race. But he loves his dad too much to crush his hopes like that. So he is knowingly giving up getting Christmas gifts here. And I wonder how many people understand that the first time they see this. And this is a good example of how Bart is a little brat most of the time. But he does have a heart. And we also see how much Lisa loves her dad when she defends him after her aunts put him down.
Well, I wish you wouldn't, because aside from the fact that he has the same frailties as all human beings, he's the only father I have. Therefore, he is my model of manhood, and my estimation of him will govern the prospects of my adult relationships. So I hope you bear in mind that any knock at him is a knock at me, and I am far too young to defend myself against such onslaughts.
Even though in the earlier seasons, Lisa's a little bit more mischievous, bit more likely to join Bart in his pranks, not quite as mature as she'll be later on. Close, but not quite. We do see here that she is very mature for her age, and very well spoken, highly intelligent. And these are going to be her major character traits going on. Of course, this being The Simpsons, we know that love isn't going to guarantee them a miracle here. Hope and faith in Homer isn't going to bring about a miracle. At least not the way Bart and Homer are hoping for. And Santa's Little Helper naturally loses the race.
Santa's Little Helper. Door, clerk, bios, coming in.
Don't worry, Dad. Maybe this is just for suspense before the miracle happens.
It's not just for suspense. Santa's Little Helper not only loses, he loses badly. So badly that his owner decides he's had it with this dog. Last chance, he's a loser, he's getting rid of him. And in a crowning moment of heartwarming, Santa's Little Helper runs right up to Homer and looks to him and Bart for help.
A loser! He's pathetic! He's a Simpson.
This is why this episode won a lot of praise from animal welfare groups. They didn't really intend it to, but this episode did bring attention to the plight of racing greyhounds, who are frequently abandoned and tragically frequently euthanized when their racing careers are over. A lot of people don't know what great pets these dogs can be. I actually used to work with a lady who rescued greyhounds. I wasn't involved in the rescue process, but I used to work with her where I work, and I've seen what these dogs are like, and they are just as good a family pet as any dog could be. Of course, it goes without saying that when you're considering getting a new dog, you want to find out, is your family situation, your schedule, your living arrangement right for this specific breed of dog? But if all those things are right for a greyhound, there's no reason to be intimidated by the fact that this is that they're bred for racing. These dogs can be giant couch potatoes who love to lay around and just sit with you and watch TV as much as any dog. They're not as high maintenance as you would expect, but there is a lot of retraining that goes with them because the kind of things that they're taught are not the kind of things your typical house pet gets taught. But there's absolutely no reason that if someone is willing to train them that they can't learn. And greyhounds are kind of unusual to see as pets. And the Simpsons are kind of an unusual family, to say the least. Well, you can relate to them, but they're a bit wackier than most families, even in the early seasons when they're supposed to be more relatable. Santa's Little Helper is a perfect fit for this family, and even though there are no gifts that year, the whole family is delighted when this dog is brought home.
I have a confession to make.
This should be good.
I didn't get my Christmas bonus. I tried not to let it ruin Christmas for everybody, but no matter what I did...
Hey, everybody, look what we got. A dog! All right, Dad.
I think all of us know what it's like to not have Christmas or any other holiday not go the way we'd hoped for or the way we expected. But sometimes things can happen that make it even better than we planned for. Those little Christmas miracles that might not give us what we wanted, but they might give us something that we never even knew we needed. And those are the best Christmas miracles of all. I hope that all of you have had a wonderful, safe holiday season, and I hope that the next year will be a safe, healthy, happy year for all of us. Take care, and until next time, remember the magic.